We need platforms like yours to help us actually work with our clients to start the client experience, which shows them your brand, which shows them how you work, and really helps them work efficiently, not only whether you're in person or when they're on the go. I think that's very important too, because a lot of couples today are working from their phones or from their tablets or their mobile devices. So they're not always going to have a chance to sit down for a conversation, for a meeting, and sometimes they just need something quick and at their hands where they can look at what's going on and still work with their professionals. So from the bottom of my nerd heart, I thank you for for creating That's the One, because it's absolutely phenomenal and needed. So I've gushed enough. I'm going to hand over everything to you. I'll let you introduce yourself and tell us about what you have and what you're going to show us today.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Terracica. So hi, everyone. Nice to meet you. My name is Kat. And a question I often get is if I'm a wedding planner in my past life, and the answer is no, I have always been in tech. So I started my career working at Google and then worked at a bunch of large corporates like Accenture and BCG and different startups in London. And that has given me really good exposure as to what good project management looks like. And when I got engaged and started working with my wedding planner, that's when I realized, wow, there's such a huge gap in the market to create a tool that is collaborative and intuitive and joyful to use for the planner and for their clients. So that's really how TTO, That's the One, was born. And I'm excited to give you a demo, and of course, happy to answer any questions. So feel free to just ping them in the chat here. You can also reach out to us on Instagram. Our handle is that'stheone.io. Great. And before I share my screen and show you the platform, what That's the One enables you to do today is to collaborate with your client on tasks such as their guest list, their RSVP, and all of that data is connected to a floor and a seating plan. Now, this is much more sophisticated than other tools that exist today, so I'll show you in a moment how. It's also making your life easier because you can upload your templates, your contacts, you can manage your tasks, create bespoke vendor timelines. And we have a really sophisticated vendor hub where you can upload all of the vendors that you work with and upload their contracts, their quotes, all of their payment schedule, milestones, video comments as well. So taking that experience to the next level and making it even more personal. All right, so with that, I will start to share my screen and show you how the platform works. So if any of you are familiar with Notion or Google products, you'll see that the UI of the platform is very sleek, modern, professional. So making it easy to use for both planners and couples has been important for us. So in the section here on the left-hand side, there's a section for you to upload your contacts, and you can do this in bulk. So here you can upload venues and suppliers that you oftentimes work with, and also attach documents to them like brochures, so that when you add them into the events, that information is copied over, so you don't need to reattach those documents. There's also a section for doing templates, specifically to-do and timeline templates. You can create as many templates as you want. What's neat about our to-do templates is that you can preset deadlines. So you can say, for example, this task should always be done 12 months before the wedding. And when you import it into the event, the deadline is automatically calculated. And with timeline, you can even start to add in the times and of course, then tweak them once they're in the event. So let's jump into an example. So this is now the home of Kat and Alexi's wedding. And as the planner, you can invite your couple in with their email address. So this is going to be your collaborative space for everything to do with the wedding. And what planners and couples really love about it is that it provides one source of truth for everything that's going on. So no more WhatsApps asking you where information is, because everything is here. So there's a section where you can manage all of the tasks. As mentioned before, you can import from existing templates, or you can click on individual tasks and add them in one by one. You're able to set priority, owner, due date, and also add comments. And as I mentioned before, here we're working on voice and video. The platform then sends an automated weekly email reminder to the couple and to you, the planner, with upcoming tasks and payments, so that you don't need to remember to do this each time for all of your couples manually. There's also a timeline section, and this really works very much like Timeline Genius. We've taken a lot of our inspiration from that app. So you're able to, again, import a template and individually add timeline items. Once the items are in here, you can also just type in an updated time and see that it automatically slots into the right place. You can also filter your timeline on individual vendors. So here we've just filtered on Studio 7, the florist, so that when we download their PDF, it's going to be highlighting only the bits that you have tagged Studio 7 on. And the way that you tag a vendor is by using this drop down here and clicking on the vendors that need to know about this particular timeline item. And of course, there's space to add a title, a description, a location, and a start and end time and color. Now, on the guest list, your couples can immediately upload their guest list here. And I mentioned that this is more sophisticated than other tools that exist today, and that's because of a number of reasons. So first, your couple can actually group their guests into households, and that means that one guest, when they go to RSVP, can RSVP for the whole group. So Emma, in this case, when she goes to RSVP, will see that she can also RSVP for Maid and provide his contact details, his meal and allergy dietary preferences. There's also the option to add tags. Now in TTO, tags can also be events. So here, for instance, we've tagged 4 guests as pre-party guests. This is neat because when we go to set up our RSVP questions, we can have an RSVP question that will only be seen by guests tagged pre-party. For instance, will you come to the welcome dinner? We don't want all guests to see this question. We only want the guests tagged pre-party to see this question. However, the other questions like choose your meal and do you have allergies and dietaries will keep to be shown to all guests. And of course, you can add your own bespoke questions into each section or edit the existing ones that we've already set up for you. The nice thing about the RSVP is that it lives on a URL. So that means it can be shared extremely flexibly. You can add it on any event website, share it with WhatsApp, put it on email, share it with Facebook. So you can really drop this link anywhere you like, and your data will always come back into TTO so that when it comes to working on your floor plans and seating plans, that data is automatically synced. So let me show you that next. With floor plans, we're able to create floor plans to scale, allocate guests into the seats, and then create a PDF document that's going to summarize for us who's sitting where, but also what are their meal, allergy, dietary, and accessibility needs. And whenever something changes in the guest list, that's automatically reflected here. So here I've dropped in a background image of a venue space. I've clicked on set scale, and by measuring from point A to point B, I can then type in the correct measurement for this wall. It can also be a window, a door, anything that you have the measurements for. And you can, of course, also change this to feet and inches. So that's now updated my image so that when I drop in my furniture, this table, for example, is 200 by 100 centimeters, it's going to be to scale. So we can be confident that the tables are going to fit the way that we expect them to. Let's zoom in. So we can also change the table size here very easily, amend the seat count by toggling these up and down. We can lock the floor plan and then ask the couple to start allocating their guests into the seats. And then very easy to drag and drop them across seats once they're in. And then when you click download PDF, that's going to create a really nice summary document that is going to color code the seats by the meal choice and also show you the guests in alphabetical order and also table by table. Now your couple can also send out an electronic invitation. So this is very much like paperless post. We have designs here that are already ready to go. But of course, if you have something custom, feel free to upload that here. And once the e-cards are sent, you're able to track who has opened the email, who has opened the e-card, and follow up with those guests. Your couple also has the option to build their website directly here. So this is an example template where you can change colors and fonts. And we have all the most critical sections available to be edited here. And it's honestly so easy to change. You just replace the placeholder text and click save, and you see that's automatically updated on the website. And what our planners really love is being able to add their logo to the footer of the page because it allows them to share with the guests who has been behind planning such a great event. Now, finally is the vendor hub. So this is where you can add recommendations for vendors to your client. So once you've set up your contact book, you can easily import those contacts into the specific weddings that you're working on. So here, for example, I have uploaded 2 florists for the client to take a look and then check out the Instagram, the website, click on details and read more information about that vendor. So this is what's copied over from your contact book alongside any documents that you've pre-uploaded. There's also this neat comment section where you can upload quotes or upload design ideas and have a bit of a back and forth with your client about that specific vendor. And the idea here is that we're replacing things living in different email threads and WhatsApps and keeping everything in one place. And as a reminder, when you tag your client in a comment, they get an email and they can just reply to that email and the comment will come back into TTO, which is really neat. So once the vendor is then confirmed, you can upload in the edit mode any final documents like their contract or any other important things, and then upload the payment schedule. So when does this vendor need to be paid the deposit, the second milestone, the third milestone? So you can add all of that in here and your client will get a reminder when payments are due. And the expectation is that today they would go pay it offline and then tick in here once it has been paid to keep track of their payments. What we want to do next is to enable the client to also pay directly through That's the One. And once you've basically set up all of the vendors that are working in this event, this is then summarized in the payments tab. So you'll be able to see what payments are due this week, this month, and what's still outstanding. And this is also then rolled up into a budget sheet. So you're able to track your estimates on a category level. And then once your vendors are confirmed, they are automatically slotted into the budget sheet. And what's really nice here is that it's all synced with those payment milestones that you add in the vendor card. So just to show you, I'm going to make this unpaid. So you see it says that this planner is due £32,000 and so far 10,000 has been paid. But if I now tick these as well, you'll see that the paid automatically updates in our budget sheet, which is really nice. And you're able to also add comments in line on the budget sheet, and the bottom shows a nice total to help you track. And you can, of course, export this at any time as an Excel file. So the final thing to show you is accommodation. So for every event, we create an accommodation page, and there's two options that we can work with. So the first option is called a live rates page. So we are connected into a travel system that gives us all the same rooms and hotels that Booking.com has. The difference is that because we're creating a private page, not a public page, we can offer guests prices that are cheaper than Booking.com. So here the guests can actually choose their check-in and check-out date. They can browse the hotels that are nearby to the venue. And when they click on show rooms, we're going to show them the available rooms and the discounted price. So the red price is the booking price and the bolded price is the price that we're offering to the guest. And once they click through and reserve their room, in the guest list, you will be able to track in the accommodation column who is staying where. So you see this is now connected, which can be handy when organizing transfers from various hotels. So this is really popular as it removes the need to sign any contracts, to pay any deposits, and you just automatically get this URL, which you can throw on any event website. Now, the other option is room blocks. So we can also support with room blocks. And once the room blocks have been made, we will upload them onto this page here. And if your couple has already organized a room block or their venue includes rooms and they want to collect money from guests, we can set up this page and they just let us know how much money they want to collect for each room. So oftentimes the couple will subsidize the room, for example, and make it a bit cheaper for guests. So it's completely flexible. We could even put guest names against each room with, of course, a bespoke price determined by the couple. So those are the two accommodation options that we have today. And once a guest books on here, it's also synced with the guest list. So you can, of course, track how your room block is filling up, which is nice. So that is a summary of That's the One. I hope that that was helpful, and having a single source of truth for all of your events, giving your couples one place to access all the information around their wedding and even complex guest logistical tasks like accommodation will really be a game changer for you. And it's our personal goal to streamline this so that you have more time on your hands to grow your business, to develop your client relationships, and to potentially even do more weddings if that's what you would like to do. So I'll wrap up there. And also open up to any questions that you might have for me.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Someone said that they absolutely loved the audio and the voice, and it came back on. That's how I send a lot of my things. So that's going to be amazing. Another question that we got from Facebook is everything visible to the client when they join, or can you drip information based on the planning schedule?
Yeah, so you'll be able to hide features and unlock them as you go through the planning process.
Okay, we got another question here in the chat. Will it work if we have the same vendor for two different weddings at the same time with two different payment plans? Think,
Yes.
Colleen, you're talking about the budget, correct?
Yeah, so basically what it does is it always makes a duplicate record
Mm.
whenever imported into the individual wedding. So it's always treated separately, but at least it's copying over that general information into each event.
God, that's so needed because I have had seasons where we worked with the same photographer or the same caterer, and we've had to like re-add them every single time instead of being able to copy things over. And Leslie asks, can you import guest lists from other systems, or is there like a spreadsheet template that we can use to import our guests?
Yeah, so what's nice with TTO is that you can import a basic guest list instantly. So you don't need to reformat a template. So we will automatically import for you first name, last name, phone number, email, postal address.
Love it. Love it. Okay, we got another one that says, will the room block details information be added automatically to the wedding website?
So in our wedding website template, it is automatically connected. So you see there's a accommodation button here. So that will take you to the accommodation page. However, you can also just take the URL, and if your couple uses another website, you can just add that link in there.
That is awesome. Somebody just said, I love the accommodations tracking feature. Yes, that is so huge, especially if you have to deal with transportation and wedding welcome gift bag drop-offs and all of those things. So that is awesome. All right. Lorraine, she's got two questions. We got a double header here. What is the cost for the platform is the first question.
So the cost is $48 a month, and that's for unlimited events.
Awesome. Awesome. Can you run us through the templates again?
Yeah. So here we have to-do templates and timeline templates. So here we've got like European planners that might create the to-do templates in multiple languages, for example. So let's say we've got a title, a description for the to-do, and then we just start adding in our to-do items in here. So I've only got two, just as an example. But
Sure.
for example, discuss budget. This is a high priority item. It's in the budget and financial section. You can automatically pre-assign, like assign this automatically to the couple or assign this automatically to the planner. And who is it visible by? Is it visible by everyone or just yourself? So you can have private to-dos. And then you can also set how many months before the event should the deadline be set at. So here we're saying always 12 months before the event. So it's going to take the event date and calculate 12 months before that and set that as the deadline. But you can, of course, amend it. But the idea is that we try and front load that work for you.
Yeah, no, that takes a lot off of the plate because it can take a couple of hours to set up, your virtual office or your online hub. Speaking of which, is there like a notes section or a design section that's coming?
So we have a section that we call quick links. So here you can actually link out to anything external like a Google Docs, Google Sheets, Pinterest, Canva, and you can also make things private. So let's say here, for example, I say it's my meeting call notes. I can link out to a Google Doc and I can make it private. So then that's going to create a little pop-up module in here that you can always easily access. And on your couple side, they won't see that.
Okay, okay, awesome. Are we also able to add like our assistants and staff members to this too?
Yes, you can add them in as collaborators, as professional planners is the role that we have today. So it's either client, couple, because we also have planners that don't just do weddings on TTO, they're also doing corporate events and private parties. So we've generalized the language for that reason. But yes, you can add professional planners too.
That's awesome. So when we're like hiding things, is there any way for our team to see it, or is it just us and the clients for now?
So to now, the permissions are just either the client sees it or they don't. So
Okay.
within the team, we assume that everyone is seeing the same things.
Okay. So as a professional planner, would they see the hidden things or no?
Yes, the
They would.
professional planner would, but they would set it that their couple doesn't see it.
Heard. Gotcha.
Right? So for example, like I expect perhaps you build out the whole floor plan and then you make it available for them to see.
Well,
Or
I'm
you,
asking if we add a staff member, would they be able to see it too?
yes,
Okay.
because they're in the role of professional planner. So all the planners
Gotcha.
see it.
Gotcha. That is so awesome. That's very exciting. And this is responsive, right? So it's going to work on mobile devices and tablets.
Yeah, so I'll show you. So this
Awesome.
is basically how responsive it is.
Love it. That's a huge issue with some of the other ones. That is
Mhm.
great. That is so awesome. Anybody else have any other questions? Kat, you've been amazing. Thank you so much for sharing this with us.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. And if anyone is interested in giving it a try on our website, you can start with a 1 month free trial simply by clicking on this button here.
That is so great. Oh, Lorraine says awesome. Kat, thank you so much. It doesn't look like we've had any more questions. You've been amazing. Thank you for taking us behind the drapes and the scenes of seeing this. I love having Kara says she's excited about a new platform. Me too. I love playing with all of the new things that are coming out. Dana says this is so great. Thank you.